Hello everyone and welcome to this PractiTest short instructional video. Today I want to talk about a very simple yet very powerful customization we can do in PractiTest, and that is how can we add a different type of lists field or list fields into the system in order to help you to work with PractiTest better. So let's go over to our test library module just to show what we want to do. And let's say that again, I'm going to go into my one of my test cases in here. And the idea is that we want to add on this area in here different type of lists that will help us to know what these test cases are about. Okay, so let's start with a very simple example. Let's say that I want to add a field here that will show me what is the priority of the test that I have in here. Okay, let's say that we have a high, medium, and low priorities for our test cases. So all of these customizations are going to be done from the settings. So I'm going to go to my settings, within the settings into my field settings here. And I want to create a new field. So I come here to my custom fields area and I click here to create a new custom field. And again, I want to create a priority field. So I click here the name of priority, I select the type of list, and as I said, I want to start with a simple list. I'm going to go for this list in here, and I just add my values here. So let's say that I have, as I said, a high priority, a medium priority like this, and a low priority for my test cases. Now, when you want to assign this list to any of the entities, just select here, for example, test, and maybe I want to also add it to my requirements. And remember, you can also make them mandatory or give them default value. And once I save it here, if I go over to my test case, and again, anyone will do, if I come here, I will start seeing my priority list in here, and I can choose out of any of the values that I have in here. So cool. This is the first list that I want to show you. Now let's go for another example. Let's say that in addition to priorities, I also want to explain what is this test case about. Let's say that I have 3 products that I'm testing, and any one of my test cases might be relevant for either product A or B or C or a combination of them. So you want to have a multiple select list, or as we call them in PractiTest, a multi-list. So if I want to create a multi-list, again, we're going to go over to our settings, field settings very quickly. And we're creating a new field, and we will call it products here. And the format that we're going to choose is not going to be the list field. We're going to go for a multi-list field. And it's very simple to what we did before. We're just going to say, okay, so let's say that I have product A and product B and product C. Okay, and again, we're going to assign it to our test cases in here. And when we go over to our test library, you will see that the field is a little bit different. It's not a regular list field like we have. It's what we call a multi-select. And within these fields, you can actually use your command or control or shift keys in order to select either one or multiple of these values. And you can see them here that once you select them, both of them appear here, and you can obviously use them for filters and the search and dashboards and all the rest of the stuff that you want to do here. So cool, this is another type of fields. Now we have yet a third type of list that we call them a linked list. And a linked list, basically, it's a link that you have a parent list that will give you a criteria, let's say operating system. And then the linked list says that for any one of those parent criteria, you can actually have a different type of list for the child criteria. So if I have Windows, I may see browsers IE and Firefox. If I go to Mac, then I may see Safari and Chrome, stuff like that. So you can actually add those pairs of lists here. And let's actually go and do it. Okay, let's say that I want to add again a linked list field for my browsers and operating systems. So I go over to my fields in here, and I start, first of all, by adding the field for my operating systems. I actually have it already here. Okay, so if I go over here, you can see I have Windows, Mac, Linux. I only need to go ahead and assign it to my test cases. Now it will be displayed on my test cases. Now I want to create a new linked list that will be dependent on the values that I choose from this parent list. So I click here to create a new custom field. You can also do it outside. I will call it browsers. Oops, sorry. And I choose here, this is the important part. The format that you choose here for the child list is going to be a linked list. And you say, okay, who's going to be my parent list? And here I'm going to choose one of the lists that I already have in here, including priority that we just created or any other list that you have in the system. I'm going to go for operating systems. And what happens is that for every one of the values that my operating system has, I'm going to get here a new list of values that I can add. So very quickly, let's say that for Windows, we have IE and we have Chrome and let's say Safari. And let's say that for Mac, we're supporting Chrome and Safari. And let's say that for Linux, we're only supporting Chrome. Okay, and I'm going to add these values here. Obviously, every list has independent values. And I go ahead and I can add it on the fields or on the entities that I want to, in this case, my test cases. And again, if I go over to my test cases, then I will see these pair of lists. Okay, I have my operating systems and browsers. Right now, my browsers are empty. If I choose one of the values for the operating system, then automatically I will get the relevant list for my browser. So if I choose Windows, I can choose IE. If I go to Mac, then obviously it will be another list. And if I go to Linux, it will be yet another list. And again, you can use these values in here once you have them in order to create your filters and your dashboards and any other type of information that you may want to manage and carry. So again, this is only one of the multiple ways of customizations and actually fields that you can add. Remember, you have user lists and you have checkboxes and all sorts of additional fields that you can add. And again, you should feel free to use them in order to customize your entities and make PractiTest actually match your process in the best possible way. So thank you very much. And again, we'll be in touch later with another instructional video.